There's a lot of great streaming advice out there, and when it comes to it, I honestly think there's one thing that doesn't get talked about. From the outside, streaming looks easy. You set things up, press a button, and go live. But if you've ever sat there staring at that button wanting to stream and still feel like you just can't press it, well, then you know it's not that simple. Because sometimes the hardest part of streaming isn't streaming, it's starting. So I wanted to make this video for the people who struggle with that part because I used to be one of them, and in some ways, I still am. There were times where it took me 45 minutes just to mentally prepare myself to go live. Not because I didn't want to stream or it was a burden. It was because my brain was doing what anxious brains do. It was running through every possible scenario at once. Who's gonna be there? What if no one shows up? What if people do show up and I'm awkward? What if I have nothing to say? What if I mess up? What if I'm actually not good at this? And when all this hits you at once, pressing go live starts to feel way bigger than it actually is. So if that's where you are right now, I want to say this first. There is nothing wrong with you. Struggling to go live does not mean you're not meant to stream. It doesn't mean that you're weak, or it doesn't mean that you're failing before you've even began. A lot of the time it means you're just putting a lot of pressure on yourself that you really don't need to. And that was one of the biggest things I had to learn. For me, starting a stream was like pulling a giant weight behind me. Like I needed to prove something the second I went live. Like I needed to be interesting immediately. Like I needed to justify every single minute I was live. And that kind of pressure will wear you out before you even start streaming. What wound up helping me was not magically becoming fearless or just telling myself, oh, don't be scared. What helped me was making the start of the stream feel routine, more familiar, more manageable. I had to stop waiting to feel perfectly ready because honestly, that feeling hardly ever comes. Instead, I needed a rhythm. I needed a routine. I needed a way to get myself into that streaming mode without expecting confidence or comfort to just appear out of nowhere. So one of the biggest things that I had to change was realizing that getting ready for the stream wasn't just about getting my equipment ready. It was about also having to get my mind ready too. And those are very much two completely different things. Maybe your mic, game, scenes only take maybe like 10 minutes to set up, but maybe you have to have like 30 minutes to calm your mind down enough to get you centered. That time matters. I think a lot of people give themselves time to prepare their setup, but not enough time to prepare themselves. And so one thing that really helped me was treating mental prep as part of my stream. It's not extra, it's not optional, it is part of it. So this is where I decided to give myself a schedule, not just days and times that I was going to be live, because that's how to get people to know when you're going to be live. But I also would do it for how I would basically prepare my streaming. And it was really hard at first. I had to force myself to stick to it. But the more I did that, the more it became a behavior. And over time, the whole process started to feel much more natural and much quicker. I knew it would take me about 10 minutes to get all this equipment set up. Then I would walk out of the room once it was all set up. So that way I could be away from it all to calm myself down, take some deep breaths, and just get myself quieted. If I needed to, I walked outside and I sat outside for a little while until I could get myself calmed down and realizing that a lot of the stuff was just in my head. Sometimes you just need that little bit of help to calm yourself down, a little bit of reassurance. I made sure that I had plenty of time to take care of it to where I didn't feel like I was rushing to the start time that I had dedicated to get started streaming. I tried to make sure I paced things as best as possible. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for you to figure out that rhythm that will get you into it. Because when your mind is racing, everything feels heavier than it really is. Another thing that wound up helping me relieve the pressure from the beginning of the stream was preparing rambling topics. A lot of anxiety comes from that fear of going live and feeling like you have nothing to say. First of all, everyone has things to say, everybody has opinions, and everybody has things that they love. We all have those things, and that's what gives us the connections that we're trying to make to build a community. So instead of expecting myself to just improvise perfectly, I started going in with a few things ready to talk about. Not a full script or anything, just some ideas that I could jot down on a post-it note, some starting points. Maybe it was a story from a day, or a weird idea I've been thinking about, or my opinion on the latest show that I watched. Something that I can grab onto if my mind goes completely blank and I don't know what else to do. And I typically had a rule of thumb that I want to be able to ramble about something for about 20 minutes, if possible. For example, I still remember when I was, at 0 viewers, streaming to no one, and I went on like this almost hour-long monologue about the Terminator movies and this theory that John Connor was the central paradox that keeps Skynet alive, and if John Connor were to actually be eliminated, Skynet, could not exist anymore. Like, I had this whole fan theory kind of planned out, and I went on for, it felt like an hour. I don't know actually how long it was. It was a long time ago. But this is something that helps you out where you can just ramble on while playing a game or whatnot that keeps things moving. Because once you start talking and once you get something kind of going, your brain will realize, oh, yeah, we're doing this. And okay, this isn't as bad. And it gets easier then. But that beginning can feel really brutal if you expect yourself to create from nothing while you're also nervous. I also think one of the hardest parts of streaming is making peace with the fact that there may not be anybody there at first. That alone can mess with your head. It can make you feel like you're doing something wrong. It can make you feel like the whole stream is pointless before it even has a chance to become anything. And the thing is, a quiet stream is not a failed stream. A quiet stream is practice. A quiet stream is you being able to develop your skills. A quiet stream is you learning how to carry yourself while live. It counts because these are the skills that are going to translate into being a good creator while live when people are around. That engaging with people is going to feel more natural. It's going to feel easier, and you're going to be far more engaging. And honestly, some of the most important practice you'll ever get happens when nobody is there, because that is how you learn to keep going without needing the feedback instantly. You have to be able to learn to talk through silence, because it does happen. You have to learn how to recover from those awkward pauses, how to settle into your voice. And every stream that you do this is real progress, even if it doesn't feel exciting or impactful in that moment. And if you're looking at a viewer count and that's getting into your head, hide it. Seriously. Viewer count can turn your entire mood into a number. One person leaves and suddenly you feel worse. One person joins and all of a sudden you feel immense pressure. It's not a good headspace to create from. Good content doesn't come from staring at a number or the number of people watching. It comes from you. While we're on that, make peace with those lurkers. Not everybody who enjoys a stream is going to talk. Some people are listening while they work, while they eat, while they're winding down from their day. Some people just like to enjoy content quietly because they enjoy what's going on. Silence in chat does not automatically mean you're failing. It just means that maybe you have people watching that just are enjoying what you're doing. I know that can be very easy to forget when you're live, but trust me, it matters. The other thing I really want to say is this. Most awkward moments feel bigger to you than they do for everybody else. When you're the one streaming, you feel every stumble, every pause, every weird moment. Most people are not analyzing you the way you think you are. And even if a stream feels rough, it doesn't mean it was a waste. Some of the best learning comes from the streams that didn't go well. That's where you figure out what you need, what helps, what throws you off, how to come back from it. And you experiment with that. You don't get comfortable by waiting to feel comfortable. You have to practice into comfort. You get comfortable by going live, being a little awkward, surviving it, realizing it's not the end of the world, and you come back and do it another time. Remember, we're all human and we all fumble from time to time. And I think that's what I really want this video to give you, is that if life feels hard for you, that doesn't mean you can't do this. It means that you let that moment get really heavy in your mind. Make it smaller, make it easier. Give yourself more room before streaming. Let that mental prep count. Go in with a few things that you can talk about. Stop letting viewer count control your emotions. Make peace with quiet rooms and realize that there are probably people lurking and watching. You don't need to be fearless to stream. You don't even need to be fully confident. You just need to start. You need to get going so you can find that groove that fits you. Because a lot of people who look comfortable now started in the exact same place. So if that's you right now, I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration and helps. Not because I can promise you it'll instantly feel easy, but I can promise that being scared to start does not mean you can't do this. It just means you're human. And that's not something you need to hide from. That may actually become one of the reasons people connect with you in the first place. So go be who you are and stop placing unreasonable expectations on yourself.